Hello there. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. And here we are still in lockdown. And as you can tell, still no wardrobe or hairstylist available. These are uncharted times for most of us, particularly those of us who have the good fortune to live in the relatively wealthy and peaceful West. We've not had to face conditions like this before. And for me, I think one of the important lessons of that has been how important access to information is. How we would manage this without the internet, for a start, I don't know. We keep in touch with our friends and family through internet-enabled apps, through WhatsApp or Skype or Zoom or FaceTime or whatever. We get our grocery deliveries ordered online, and certainly in the UK, the major grocery chains have made a big effort to up their internet capabilities so that we can place an order online, see what's available, know what isn't coming, know what to expect instead as a substitute. And while I'm on that point, any retailers looking, if I order natural yogurt, don't send low-fat natural yogurt. There's nothing natural about low-fat yogurt at all. And please, can you take the security tags off the booze? Thank you, that'd be a help. Anyway, they're doing a great job, by and large. And I was reading a review, actually, of a book about life during World War II in the UK recently, when, of course, they had a lot of the same issues, and certainly about food security. We don't have bombs falling on us at the moment, but that's something to be glad about. But, of course, in those days, there was no internet. The government in the UK took over control of the food supply chain very quickly. And people got their information from the radio, by and large. Food was rationed, ration cards were distributed, and the government also played an active role in directing people's eating habits or buying habits by adjusting the price of food in terms of coupons, at least. And, you know, it's said that the poor during World War II in the UK ate largely better than they had done before. The rich could still afford lobster and oysters. Funny how those two things, which used to be food for the poor, have ended up being premium quality foods. That's by the by. It was really the middle classes that suffered because they couldn't get the nice stuff they needed. Today, fortunately, we still have Waitrose delivery. And what we're provided with today, of course, is an endless supply, really, of opportunity to connect with the outside world, even though we are stuck here at home. I'm in my 8th week now without going anywhere. And we've got used to that, I think. Or certainly, if we hadn't been used to it before, we're certainly getting used to it now. Which brings me around to business, because we have spoken in HCB, especially over the last 2 or 3 years, at inordinate length about the potential for digitisation to alter the way that companies do business, how companies interact with their partners in the supply chain, their competitors even, but certainly their suppliers and their customers. And there has always been a little bit of pushback on this for 2 main reasons. I think one of the big reasons, of course, is trust. And if you own data, you have information, you don't really want to share that with people who might be able to use it. Hence the development of neutral networks as a platform to house that information. The other one, of course, is the availability of standards. We don't actually want to be having to deal on different platforms with each of our contacts in the supply chain. Work has been going on in that area, and I mentioned before the project that ECTA has got involved with in coming up with some communication standards in the European tank container chain. And we've seen also some other recent developments in the, what you might, certainly not the low-hanging fruit. These are the sort of hard-to-reach areas. Implico has just started a project on rail deliveries. Rail has always been a dark spot in the network. So, despite Avinto's initiatives, and also Clear Metal have expanded really their existing system to offer door-to-door visibility over the supply chain that involves a deep sea maritime link. Again, that was something that's been hard to deal with. And so it's good to see that. And I think perhaps a lot of companies, I say active in the supply chain, but everybody's active in the supply chain. Even if you're a manufacturer, you've still got to get your product to your customer. And there is, I think, perhaps at the moment, a greater willingness to just dive in and do it, because that's the best way under current market conditions of knowing what's going on. Knowing what's going on is vital at the moment because it changes so quickly. And I've mentioned before in these videos that some of the 4PLs are now providing regular information, status updates on the availability of capacity in various transport sectors. So I see that as a positive thing, really, because I think in the not too distant term, these sorts of digitized systems, Internet of Things and so on, machine learning, algorithms are going to become ubiquitous. And I think they would have, or certainly should have in any case. But the COVID-19 pandemic is giving some impetus to that. But there are some other things out there, some other digitized systems out there that we haven't actually had to deal with yet. And certainly one of them coming along in the third quarter and fourth quarter actually will be the use of virtual meetings. I mean, nowadays we have meetings over Zoom. We don't go to the office anymore. Maybe we never will. Who knows? But the European Petrochemical Association, for instance, has announced that its planned annual meeting in early October in Budapest will not go ahead as a physical meeting, but will go ahead purely in a virtual world. It will be interesting to see how that works. EPCA has in recent years attempted to reduce the volume of paper pushed around during the annual meeting by putting everything on an app. And so that app will become crucial, the EPCA community app. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that works. HCB will have its regular annual EPCA issue on that app. Label Master 2 has said that its Dangerous Goods Symposium in early September in Chicago will be a virtual meeting. It's a shame in a way because I always enjoy going to Chicago, but then again, I probably can't fly there at the moment, so it's a moot point. Paul Gooch, regular commentator, has once again asked me to consider whether the processes and procedures that we're putting in place to cope with doing business during the pandemic are going to persist afterwards. I don't know is the answer, but I think after we try these virtual meetings, maybe we'll decide that that's the way to go. We still need information now more than ever. HCB is doing its best to provide the business critical information, particularly on the regulatory side of the business, and we'll continue to do that, mostly through electronic means. And one of the ways is through this regular weekly chat of mine. So I hope to see you next week, and I hope you stay well between now and then. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.